Okay, here we have a single apple tree. This is a yellow delicious. We'll just take a quick peek. I've got three. This one in the middle is a multi-grafted pear tree, and then there's a single apple tree that's a Macintosh over here. So one thing about growing apples, and pears for that matter, but apples, only an apple tree can pollinate another apple tree. So single apple trees like this yellow delicious need another pollinator. This yellow delicious, which blossoms, as you can see, is just beautiful in blossom. It'd be so nice if we had some apples this year. This will stay in blossom longer than the Mac. This would actually pollinate with pollinators, of course, the Macintosh apple. So we'll just see. We've got lots of bees on the property now, lots of flowers, and lots of blooms, and so we have lots of activity. Hopefully, I mean, this little tree is not going to be able to stand a lot of fruit on it, but wouldn't it be cool if we even got a couple of little apples off it? And the pear has blossomed too. That's not going to show up. Let me move a limb. There's a bunch of blossoms here on the pear. The pear is self-pollinating. So those are cool. Again, plant them once, they feed you for many, many years. Alright, so here we are. This is a 4-foot by 8-foot, 12-inch deep raised bed, and it is full of, and I mean full. I will do a video just on this plant. This is called the Passamaquoddy potato, and it is it's what the First Nations used before Europeans came to North America as a potato. It is a starch-based tuber. They are very crunchy. They don't look like a potato. They're more scrunched up a little bit, more knotty, but inside they're very potato-like. They taste like a potato, a little bit sweeter and a little bit more nutty. This I leave right in this bed all year long. They come back. I don't do anything with them, but there would be 100 pounds of tubers here. So I could come out in February and pull a side off and dig from underneath and pull tubers out. If, like so we have a bad snowstorm and I'd have to shovel snow, but there's food here. If we can't get out, we can't get to the grocery store, that type of thing. So grid down, we can harvest this all year, and they grow up to about 8 feet. They produce a nice yellow flower, again good for the pollinators. But this is kind of my go-to survival food for a starch-based tuber. If you just look behind me, if I get out of the road for a minute, there's another 4 by 8 bed of potato planted exactly what I showed you earlier, and then another 4 by 8 bed, and that one is another 100 pounds of Passamaquoddy potato. So again, for survival, for camping, for eating on Sunday evening, they're a great tuber. They're a bit invasive. I keep them contained in the raised beds because they can definitely take over your whole garden. What that tells me, if it's an invasive plant, it means it will do everything it can to survive. Me too, and I'd survive by eating it. It's a good thing to know. Okay, let's go to the next place. Okay, so here is a brand new hugelkultur bed I just threw together this spring, and yes, I'm planting in it this year, which is one of the reasons I love the permaculture technique called hugelkultur. And really all hugelkultur is a pile of rotting wood. It's very little. One of the things that I think about a lot is the fact that if we tie in with Gaia, this planet's natural cycles, everything that we need to produce really nutritious, healthy food that's low in calories, high in antioxidants, all the minerals that we need, if we want to do that, we just really need the forest floor. So we need the sunlight, and plants turn that sunlight into growth and food. We need the sunshine, we need the rain, and we need all this debris, shit, crap, corruption that dies, falls back, falls off, falls out, falls over in the windstorms. All the debris that is here. You see all this stuff? And this is wood, and this is an old log, and that's branches, and so, and this is grass off my lawn. I just throw it down there. Just throw all your stuff, that put it all there, and just make a bed out of it. It's really simple. It's so simple, but it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And so I put some topsoil on top of it to level it out, and then I just took seeds and I just spread. I did something really stupid this year. I have a small can full of all different types of seeds that I keep, and I was planting the cold frame, and we'll go look at that next. Planting the cold frame, and I set it beside the cold frame, and I shut the cold frame, and I went in the house, had supper, forgot about it. It rained hard overnight. Every one of my seeds was all saturated, soaking wet. So I just took them, threw them on top of this brand new bed, covered it with some topsoil, and now, as you can see, look at all the growth that we have. They've only been in the bed for maybe 5 days, and we have a lot of different things are growing here, but there is going to be a ton of radish come to fruition here in this bed. And it was free. It takes a little bit of labor, but it's free because it's the resource provided to us by Gaia. So this planet, if you let it, if you observe it, it will give you all the resources you need to feed your children and their children, and to have healthy grandchildren. Let's go look at the cold frame. Okay, so I know you're all familiar with this technique. It's just a mini version of a greenhouse. Light can shine through this, the door comes down, I close it at night when it's cold, I open it in the day to let the heat out, and I look at what it does. These are all young baby cabbage, and I planted those from seed. And those, it's unbelievable that in the end of May in Canada, I have cabbage seedlings up. Well, it's because of the greenhouse effect. So that's very, very cool. So I will transplant these. I may leave some of them in here, but I'm going to have to transplant a bunch of them out. And I'll show you where I intend to put some and how I'm going to handle it, which is just another different technique. But cold frame gardening is a lot of fun. It's exciting to come out and check on your babies. Okay, what else do we have here? Ouch, I'm getting bug bit today. So right here, this is a part of the cost savings of doing your own gardening. So what I have here is a new baby sea buckthorn, and another one here, and here, and here, and here, and here. I have a crab tree cutting here, and I have hascap here, and hascap here. And I will show you a mature hascap with the berries just setting on now. Just stunningly beautiful. I love the berries, they're really good for you. So the point that I would make here is that if you go to a nursery and you buy a sea buckthorn, which I have cuttings of sea buckthorn here, if you go and you buy it, you'll pay 30 bucks for one. You've got to have at least two, a male and a female, so there's 60 bucks. And I bought 3 because I wanted to space them, put the male in between and the 2 females on either side, so I could start to get some berries. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So the hugelkultur bed, which is just piling up rotting wood and then putting some topsoil on it, whatever you got, and planting in it, is wonderful. And I'm going to show you the 2 that I planted in last year and what they look like this year. So they change in time because the wood rots down. But these are cuttings, and you can get cuttings to grow for you from your existing plants, and you don't pay anything for them. So in other words, in time, and not all of these will come to fruition, not all of them are going to sprout and grow and survive, but maybe 50%. Well, I haven't lost anything if I get half of these to grow into what those ones look like today. So gardening can be, if we think about it being not what I'm doing this year, but what I've done in past years to allow me to harvest food for many years. That is just one of the key themes, and it can be done very cheaply. So I purchased, and I will show a more detailed video on this, but I simply snipped these off. I took some potting soil. I took, now these are hardwood cuttings, and you can use plants like this as soft cuttings, and you can get a rooting hormone, and I have the number 3 rooting hormone for the hardwood cuttings. And you simply dip it, you cut it off on an angle, dip it in some water, dip it in your hormone, and then just stick it in the pot. And honest to goodness, some of them die, but some of them put roots down, and you can then plant that as a brand new hascap tree, bush, or a brand new sea buckthorn, or we could do it with the apples, the berries. So again, do work once, eat for decades. That's the main theme. Let's go take a look at the older hugelkultur beds and see what's going on in them.